So we are in the discussion of acid-base disorders. So we have looked at how to work out with the given clinical examples of the values there, ABG values and the peripheral blood values. So now we are going to enter into a new area, relatively little complex area, mixed acid-base disorders, bedside workup with examples. Not tomorrow, will be continued today. So I wrote tomorrow, yesterday when I edited. So that today, tomorrow has become today. Okay. So this is on 25th, right? Correct. This editing is correct. Acid-base disorders, mixed acid-base disorders, case-based approach, bedside workup with examples. Now, this slide, all of you are very familiar. What is that? There are two types of acid-base disorders. One is the metabolic type. The other is the respiratory type. So in metabolic we have again acidosis and alkalosis, and in respiratory we have got acidosis and alkalosis. We for sure know here the pH in acidosis is on the lower side, and when the pH is lower, the bicarbonate is lower, the primary variable, the PCO2 secondary variable is also lower. They are on the same side. Metabolic alkalosis, pH by definition will be higher. If the pH is higher, bicarbonate is also higher and the PCO2 also is higher. Okay. This is we know. This is what is called the ROMS. In that we have the MS part, metabolic, same side. Okay. Respiratory, when PCO2, when the pH is equal to acidosis pH means pH is low, but the PCO2, the primary variable is up, and so does the secondary variable. And the pH is up in case of alkalosis. The PCO2 is down and the bicarbonate secondary variable also is down. This is understood. Respiratory opposite side, metabolic same side. When in simple acid-base disorder. Suppose it is not a simple disorder, the primary variable will follow the pH, but the secondary variable only will be different. For example, there is a low and below pH here, the primary variable will be, bicarbonate will be lower. Likewise, when there is high pH here, the PCO to the primary variable will be lower. But it is the secondary variable that will not match exactly with the compensation. So, we have got under respiratory two diseases. This is the acidosis, this is alkalosis, respiratory. But we also know that we have got acute and chronic. Acute respiratory acidosis, chronic respiratory acidosis, acute respiratory alkalosis, chronic respiratory alkalosis. This is acid, this is alkali. Of course, respiratory. Okay. Then we have four disorders. 1, 2, acute respiratory, chronic respiratory acidosis. Again, 1 and 2, acute and chronic respiratory alkalosis. Then we have got the metabolic acidosis. This again is of two types, non-GAP and GAP. We call it as NAGMA and this is ALK. Two types of metabolic acidosis. Luckily, alkalosis there are not many things. And there is no acute and chronic here, it is only because kidney only takes time, it can't be all of a sudden 1 minute, it cannot change anything. So there is no acute or chronic, non-GAP and GAP here, and the other one is alkalosis. So in a way you need to learn 4 plus 2 plus 1, total 7 disorders we have to deal. And there could be combinations of these disorders. That is where exactly we are interested to go for today's workup. So simple acid-base disorders are, there is compensation and the compensation is appropriate. In mixed acid-base disorder, there is compensation, but the compensation is inappropriate. What is inappropriate? Suppose we expect the bicarbonate to be normal 24, with all the calculations, if it is more or less, it is inappropriate. Likewise, the normal PCO2 is equal to 40. After all the calculations, the expected value is more than 40. The observed value is much different than the expected value of 40. Then we know that. Now we have to understand certain basic variables. What is pH? 7.4 is the normal. Then what is bicarbonate? Normal 24. Don't take 24 plus minus 2. pH up to 7 to 6.5 to 7.5. Not all that. That is only for range for you to tell. But when you are doing a calculation of acid-base disorders, you have to be precise on that number. If it is less than 7.4, let us say 7.2, though it is not very acidic or acidemia, but still the pH is on the lower side. So we stick to the numbers here. What are those numbers? Particularly in the we stick to those numbers, particularly when we are dealing with the mixed disorders, because mixed disorders, the changes in the pH or the numbers will be very subtle and they are not as gross as you see in simple disorders. So that is one reason. And carbon dioxide also we have to fix the number. So whenever we say bicarbonate, normal value 24, carbon dioxide PCO2 is 40, pH is 7.4. These are the normal values. You have to keep them in the mind as the normal values. And with that basis only we will be working out whether there is a deviation in the bicarbonate and in the carbon dioxide concentration PCO2 commensurate to the change in the pH. If it is commensurate to the change, then we know it is compensated and well compensated. It is a simple change. So we require to observe the variables along with the pH. We need to observe the bicarbonate and also observe the carbon dioxide. Among them, among respiratory and metabolic, the one which occurs early and immediately is the respiratory, because we know it takes a few hours. Within minutes to few hours it will activate, whereas the metabolic one takes a few days to 1 week. So relatively life-threatening acute things do happen in the respiratory. Among the two, particularly acute respiratory acidosis, respiratory acidosis as such, acute respiratory acidosis is an emergency. That means the patient is not able to put out the carbon dioxide, hypercarbia is occurring, the dissolved carbon dioxide is acting as an acid, and that acid is the acidemia there. He requires intubation. So the first thing that you notice is the respiratory acidosis. If it is not, you have little time to breathe. Not that others are not important, but if there is respiratory acidosis, immediate is to intubate the patient. Because the carbon dioxide has gone so much high that even the metabolic disturbance has occurred, the acid-base disturbance has occurred, and the respiratory acidosis is seen in the analysis. So anybody who is having a suspected metabolic disorder, draw an ABG, look at the ABG for acute respiratory acidosis. And this doesn't mean that the others are unimportant, but we start with respiratory acidosis. So just as we have those rules there, we do have the rules more or less the same. First look at the pH and then the acidemia, alkalemia, you decide. The pH is only emia and the blood is oocyst, we know that. Direction of PaCO2 and bicarbonate we have to see. ROMS, establish the consistency of the data. Those three are completely the same as what we have done in the previous exercise. Look for respiratory acidosis. As I told you, this is very important. Then, of course, for respiratory alkalosis. And look for the PCO2 relationship to the pH and the PCO2 relationship to the bicarbonate. It is the pH which shows the acute alkalosis or acidosis, and see whether it is related properly to the PCO2 in the respiratory and the same PCO2 how it is related to the bicarbonate. This is what should be worked. Then, is the bicarbonate compensation more or more in relation to the metabolic disorder? That also has to be seen. And work up for the metabolic acidosis and work up for the metabolic alkalosis and calculate the Ventris compensation. So we'll go by rule by rule. Now, prima facie, look at the pH. The moment you see the value, you look at the pH. As I told you, don't take that somewhere around 6.5 to 7.5 is normal, not like that. It is not like a hemoglobin range of 12 to 14 is normal or 13 to 15 is normal, not like that. Here we have to be precise on 7.4. That is the expected normal pH. Anything less than that is not acidosis but is acidemia. We are dealing with the blood. So acidemia and more than 7.4 is alkalemia. Whether there is an environment of acidosis in the body, that is determined by the carbon dioxide and the bicarbonate. That we will know by looking at the other variables. So if the pH is less than 7.4, then immediately my eye should fall on the PCO2. Why PCO2? Why not on bicarbonate? I told you respiratory disorders are relatively earlier to occur, very quick to occur. Particularly the acute respiratory disorders are quite early to occur and they may be life-threatening. So immediate focus of the mind should be on the PCO2. If the PCO2 is more than 40, that means this is less and this is more. That is, there is the opposite direction. That means there is acidemia with retention of the carbon dioxide. That is respiratory acidosis. Okay. The PCO2, the PCO2 is a secondary variable in case of metabolic acidosis, and if the PCO2 is also down along with the pH, probably it is a secondary change that is occurring in the PCO2, and we look at the bicarbonate. Tentatively, it is metabolic acidosis. Okay. So what did I do? I looked at the pH, 7.4, may be normal, may be a compensated disorder. One pulling it on the acidic side, the other pulling it to the alkaline side, both together making the pH appear 7.4. We can't swear it is normal, but most likely normal, or it may be a mixed disorder. If it is less than 7.4, we are dealing with acidemia. Is that acidemia associated with acidosis? If it is acidosis, is it respiratory or is it metabolic? If it is respiratory, the PCO2 will be high because retention of PCO2 is the reason for the acidosis, and that is the PCO2 higher is respiratory acidosis. But in metabolic acidosis, it is not the respiration that is at fault, it is the kidney that handling of the acid base is at fault. The compensatory variable PCO2 will be lower because they are on the same side in case of metabolic acidosis, and that tells me a PCO2 less than 40, acidemia less than pH less than 7.4, I am dealing with metabolic acidosis. However, I look at the bicarbonate for confirmation. Okay, here bicarbonate will be the important variable to look at. Whereas, if the pH is more than 7.4, that means it is on the alkaline side. When we say pH is more, the hydrogen ion concentration is less. We know inverse hydrogen concentration is pH. If the hydrogen concentration is less, acid is less. If acid is less, relatively alkali is more. That is what is called the alkalemia in the blood. So if it is more, again you look at the PCO. Immediately your focus should be on the PCO. When this is going up and this is going down, and that is where exactly is the opposite side, and we are with respiratory alkalosis. Okay. The other way around, this is going up and this is also going up. In such a case, we are dealing with metabolic alkalosis subject to confirmation by bicarbonate. So this is such a very crucial first step in the slide of how you look at it. In fact, there are 4 steps. First step is the pH less, then the second step is pH, then is it more, PCO2 is more, yes, pH is less, PCO2 more, respiratory acidosis. Or PCO2 is less than 40, pH is also less, both are on the same side, metabolic acidosis. More than 7.4, alkalemia, then immediately look at the PCO2, pH is going up, PCO2 going down, they are opposite, less than 40 PCO2, respiratory alkalosis, washout of carbon dioxide values are lower, PCO2 is lower because of hyperventilation or because of anxiety or because of high altitude or whatever it is. Okay, in such a case, that will be respiratory alkalosis. The other way around, last one, pH is high, alkalemia, PCO2 also is high, they are on the same side, we are dealing with metabolic alkalosis. The next thing to be looked at is bicarbonate. I hope you have very clearly understood this particular slide. Now let's go to the next one. This boils down to what? This boils down to question number 1 and question number 2. These are over. Now data consistency you all know. HAN is equal to concentration is equal to 24 multiplied by the PCO2 divided by bicarbonate. This formula you know and verify the consistency. You get the HAN concentration, convert into pH and see. So in that case you will be able to know whether that is correct or not. Okay. So let us say we have let's take an example and again recap our understanding of this one. Let's say the pH is 7.15 and then the carbon dioxide is 40 and then the bicarbonate is 15 to 24. So that means we have to look at the calculator. 24 multiplied by 40 divided by 15 is equal to 64. 64 is the answer, which means it is 7.16. So it is tallied, isn't it? 7.15 and 7.1. That is how you verify the internal consistency. Time and again you have done it and it is not a big deal. Now let's go to the next one. So we have already finished this one. Now we are going to enter into a different calculations now. So follow these things very carefully. Now I have to put it into the slideshow mode, then only you will appreciate this. I don't want to show all of them in one go. Okay. What is written on the top here? pH is equal to low, PCO2 is equal to PCO2 is high, pH is low, PCO2 high. They are on the one is on the opposite side. Low pH tells me acidosis, PCO2 high means it tells me respiratory acidosis. Okay, I told you to start with respiratory acidosis. We will work with that respiratory acidosis. The first thing is there acute respiratory acidosis or is it chronic? How do I know that? I will show you how to do that. Because acute respiratory acidosis requires intubation to save the life. That has to be first excluded in any clinical any ABG report. Need for further workup is required after excluding acute respiratory acidosis. You have to look for the further workup. So here understand that every 10 units change. This 10 is always we keep a 10 unit change. Okay, this 10 unit change of the delta PCO2. What is delta PCO2? If the PCO2 is given is 30 and expected is 40, the delta is 10. That means there is a 10 unit change there. So the delta PCO2, if it changes by 10 units, the pH will be down or corrected. What will happen in respiratory? If the PCO2 goes up by 10 units, the pH will be down by 0.08 in acute. This you remember. This you have to memorize. So if the pH changes, in fact increases, not even changes. If the pH increases by 10 units in respiratory acidosis, we know the pH is going to be higher. Sorry, the PCO2 is going to be higher. If the PCO2 increases by 10 units, we know the pH is going to be low. How low? For every 10 units increase in the PCO2, there will be a drop in the pH to the tune of 0.08 points in acute and 0.04 points in chronic. Why? Acute, the pH drop is much less because the time given is not that much. That is why the pH has not dropped very much. It dropped only by 0.08 units. Whereas here the pH drop is much higher, 0.4 units. 0.4 is much higher than the 0.8 because anything this side of the 0, the number as it increases, it becomes smaller in value, isn't it? So in chronic there is time, that is why the pH drop is much more. So the pH adjustment, rather the pH is adjusted nearer to the normal value. Whereas in acute, the time is not there, so the pH is still lower. It has not come to the normal value. That is 0.08 units lower. Whereas in acute, whereas in chronic it is 0.04 units lower. This you remember as a rule. Now, bicarbonate, we know that when the PCO2 increases, the bicarbonate also increases to compensate. Because there is acid, to neutralize that bicarbonic acid retained as carbon dioxide, some amount of bicarbonate also will increase, and this tries to compensate by increase in the bicarbonate. This is what is called the metabolic compensation of the respiratory diseases. We know that in acute respiratory acidosis, the pH will be low, the primary variable PCO2 will be high, and the secondary variable bicarbonate also will be high. Okay. So how much does it change? Every 10 units of delta bicarbonate, there must be a change in this one. Every 10 units of PCO2 change, there will be a change in the bicarbonate. We have to get that. How much is the change? So we will have a formula for that. Before that, I will go to the respiratory alkalosis now. In respiratory alkalosis, is there acute respiratory alkalosis? How do I know? pH is higher, carbon dioxide is lower, and one is on the opposite side of the other. And since the pH is higher, it is alkalosis. Since they are on the opposite side, it is respiratory. And I would like to know whether it is acute or chronic. How do I know that? Because acute respiratory alkalosis, all the causes are very treatable. Hyperventilation, anxiety, control the anxiety, reduce the respiratory rate, sedate the patient. Immediately the respiratory alkalosis gets corrected. Okay, or give oxygen if it is hypoxemia, which is causing the increased respiratory rate. If it is high altitude, support with oxygen, and then it's immediate treatable causes. For that reason, we require need for further workup. Here also, for every 10 units decrease in the PCO2, because in alkalosis, the PCO2 will decrease, respiratory alkalosis. For every 10 units decrease in the PCO2, in the acute, pH is up by 8 points. It will be in the opposite direction, no? And in the chronic, the same. Luckily, the numbers are 0.08, 0.04 are same here, 0.08 for the acute, 0.04 for the chronic. Then what is the bicarbonate concentration? Bicarbonate here it increases. In this case, it decreases because it follows the primary variable. Primary variable is decreasing, so the bicarbonate also decreases to compensate. That means there will be already alkalosis. Body wants to reduce the alkali load. The alkali is bicarbonate. So bicarbonate will be decreasing. So every 10 units, what is the change in the bicarbonate, we have to work. You understand? Sync on the information. Acute respiratory acidosis, pH is low, carbon dioxide is high. Since the pH is low, we call it as acidosis. Since they are in the opposite direction, the primary variable carbon dioxide and the pH are in the opposite direction, we call it as respiratory. Okay. Why this is important? This is such a life-threatening condition requires intubation. There is a need for further workup. So there are two things. Is it acute or chronic? For me, acute is more important to immediately treat. To know that, I can surmise it looking at the changes in the pH for every 10 units change in the PCO2. The change in the PCO2 is in the upward direction in case of respiratory acidosis. Carbon dioxide is retained. And that change for every 10 unit change, if it is acute, the pH is not corrected well because the time is less. So the pH is down by 0.08 units. Whereas in case of chronic, the pH is down by 0.04 units. When we work with an example, you will know that. Then immediately, how about the compensation from the kidney? In acute, not much. In chronic, it will be there. And that way we'll see how to work out. The bicarbonate compensation occurs for every 10 units of PCO2. Again, we will calculate. That is the bottom part of the slide. Okay, we are not with this respiratory acidosis because the pH is higher. When the pH is higher, there are two possibilities. So because we have seen the previous slide, that pH higher means more than 7.4, it could be acute respiratory alkalosis or chronic metabolic alkalosis. How do I know? Look at the PCO2. If the PCO2 is low, the pH is higher, both are in the opposite direction, it is alkalosis and respiratory alkalosis. So why is it treatable causes are there and we need to know. Again, for every 10 units drop in the PCO2, because in alkalosis there is washout, there is a drop in the PCO2. For every 10 units drop or a delta PCO2, pH is adjusted upward by 0.04 units in acute, 0.04 units in the chronic. So by doing this workup, we know whether it is acute respiratory acidosis or respiratory alkalosis, or chronic respiratory acidosis, chronic respiratory alkalosis. First of all, we have to find out whether it is acidosis or not. Second, we have to pin that it is acidosis or alkalosis. Then we have to say respiratory or metabolic. Then having said respiratory, we have to see whether it is acute or chronic. Likewise, for alkalosis and acidosis, acute and chronic are important. Now, I have not still told you what will be the bicarbonate change. I will give you the bicarbonate change here. Just write down a table like this. Under the acute respiratory on the left side, acidosis, alkalosis on the right side, and write a table and then label it as acute the first line, chronic the second line, and put the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4. You start with 1, again put 2, come to 3, come to 4. If you remember this, it's very easy to work it out. Acute, the change is for every 10 units of PCO2 change. Here the PCO2 of course is going up. For every 10 units increase, there will be an increase in the bicarbonate because they go in the same direction, 1 unit up. Okay, in chronic, it is time is there. For every 10 units, the compensation is 3 units up. Okay, whereas in case of respiratory alkalosis, the PCO2 we know goes down. For every 10 units of down in the PCO2, there will be a 2 units down of the bicarbonate because they go in the same, they go hand in hand, the secondary and primary variable, and 4 units in the chronic. Okay, acute respiratory acidosis 1 unit up for every 10 units of PCO2 increase. Whereas in chronic, it is 3 units up for every 10 units of PCO2 change, increase. Whereas in case of alkalosis, for every 10 units drop in the PCO2, there is a 2 units down in the bicarbonate and a 4 units down in the bicarbonate in the chronic. This is all about the bicarbonate. Here we have to write, of course, bicarbonate. We are looking at the change in the bicarbonate only. So this we have to work out. And then you see, suppose it is not exactly one time or 2 time or 3 time or 4 time, and it is different. How different? If the bicarbonate is lower than the expected from the calculation, lower than the expected, that means there is what is called, there is acidosis. What acidosis now? It is metabolic acidosis. That is pulling the bicarbonate down. Whereas if the bicarbonate is higher than expected with this calculation, then a combined metabolic alkalosis is there. This is how we work out the combined disorder. Let us take an example and see, then you will understand this very well. Okay? We'll take an example and see that. Now I'm going to add another slide here. .34, that is pH, you know that, and then 60, 55, 26, bicarb is 26. You can see the oxygen is also lower and carbon dioxide is higher. There is some difficulty in the respiratory problem is there. So let us see whether what sort of problem is that. What is the pH like? Somebody can open and start. pH is, first question is what is the pH? Is it less than 7.4 or more than 7.4? That's the first question. Open, Deepa.
No, sir, less than 7.4.
So this means we are dealing with acidosis, right? Acidemia rather.
Yes, sir.
Acidemia. Now the next question is it respiratory or or metabolic? Then I have to look at pH. First pH I have looked at. Then I have to look at the carbon dioxide. Now my carbon dioxide, what is the carbon dioxide, high or low?
It's high, sir.
Carbon dioxide is high, means I am dealing with acidosis, all right, because there is a shift in the parameters also in addition to the pH, and this acidosis is respiratory because they are in the opposite direction. This is coming down and this is going up. This is respiratory acidosis. This patient looks to be having respiratory acidosis. Now, my question is it acute or chronic? That I have to first find out. How do I know that? For every 10 delta PCO2, there is a change that I expect of 0.08 in case of acute and 0.04 in case of chronic. This I know. Now, how many delta it has shifted? Normal is 60, 40. 60 minus 40 is equal to 20. Okay, for every 10 units, 0.08. For 20 units, 0.16 if it is acute. Or if it is chronic, 0.08, 0.404 into 2. This should be the shift in the pH. What is the shift in the pH? 7.4 is the normal range, 7.34 is the given pH, 0.06 is the, which is nearer to the 0.08. So this is a case of chronic respiratory acidosis. Okay? This is not enough. Is there associated disorder that I did not know as yet? So what I have to do, I have to look at the bicarbonate compensation. So what is my bicarbonate compensation? For every 10 delta, my bicarbonate, if it is respiratory, I see that table. If it is chronic respiratory acidosis, 3 units up. For acute it is 1 unit, for chronic it is 3 units. So what I have to do, for every 10, 3 units. Here it is 20 units, so it must be 6. So what is my bicarbonate? 26. What is expected? 24 minus 26, so up by only 2 units. But it is 6 units, it should have gone if it is chronic respiratory acidosis. So the bicarbonate has gone, not gone to expected extent. Expected is only 2. This is 6 units is expected, but we are only seeing 2. So we expect 6 units. In fact, it must be somewhere around 30. 24 normal plus this 6, 30, but I have got only 26. That means the bicarbonate is on the lower side compared to what is expected from this calculation. That means what? When the bicarbonate is lower, bicarbonate is always metabolic. Bicarbonate lower means acidosis. So what happened? This is a patient with chronic respiratory acidosis with metabolic acidosis. Okay. When there is metabolic acidosis, then the problem comes, is it anagma or agma? That I have to immediately sort it out. What I will do, I will take one more slide and look at those values and see what is that. Same patient, I am going to give you the remaining values, the venous values also. The venous values are 140, 104, 26. These are all dummy values. We are not interested in the calculation of anion gap, those values. But they are important for a different purpose. For this purpose, they are not required. So we'll just only take these numbers. And what is my anion gap? 140 minus 130 is equal to 10. Okay. So here, I forgot to tell you one more thing. So here, when I write the normal values, always keep the anion gap also as 10 as constant. Sorry, 12. 12 as constant. 10 plus minus 2, we take 12 as the constant value for that. For calculation of mixed disorders, we use 12. 10 is also normal, but use 12 for that purpose. So here it is 10. 10 plus minus 2 is normal. So 12 up to 12 is normal, we know. So there is no anion gap. This is non-anion gap metabolic acidosis. So what the patient has? First of all, he had acidosis because the pH was, what is the pH? 7.34. And then the PCO2 is higher. He has got respiratory acidosis. And when we worked out, the compensation is happening to be for every 10 units 0.04 and not 0.08. So it is chronic respiratory acidosis. When we worked the bicarbonate should have been 30, but the bicarbonate was only 26. That means the bicarbonate is pulled down. That is pulled down means there is associated metabolic acidosis. Then we said plus metabolic acidosis. Then we didn't know what it was. Then we did this anion gap. So it's a non-anion gap metabolic acidosis. So you understand, here is a patient who has acidosis, who has respiratory acidosis, who has chronic respiratory acidosis because the compensation was 0.04 and not equivalent to 0.08. We have worked that out. It came nearer to that 0.06, it's very nearer to the chronic. And then when we worked at the bicarbonate, the delta bicarbonate, for every 10 units it should be 3, for 20 units it should be 6. If I expect 24 is the normal value, I add the 6, I should get 30. 24 plus 6 is equal to 30, but my bicarbonate given value is lower than that. So if the bicarbonate is lower than that, that's what I'm saying. If the bicarbonate is lower than that, there is metabolic acidosis. That's what we wrote. So yes, there is metabolic acidosis. Then the question is it gap or non-gap? We worked out it is non-gap. So it is NAGMA associated with chronic respiratory acidosis. 7.26, 60, 55, 26, 140, 104, 26. Not able to hear you well. Pallavika, okay.
Sir,
Pallavika, what is first question is what is the pH? pH
pH is low. Low, sir. Acidosis, sir.
Acidosis, okay.
PCO2 is higher, sir.
Acidosis. Acidosis can be two types, metabolic and respiratory.
Respiratory.
I am not very keen on metabolic straight away because it is a little, it can wait. Whereas acute respiratory acidosis cannot wait. So my immediate focus is on the bicarbonate. No, sorry, carbon dioxide. So what is the carbon dioxide?
Increased, sir.
In acidosis, pH is down and then the carbon dioxide is up. PCO2 is up. That means it is what acidosis?
Respiratory acidosis, sir.
Respiratory acidosis. Then immediate problem is, should I have to intubate? Is it acute or chronic? Highly that is very emergency. The moment you say respiratory, you are in trouble. You have to immediately decide if it is acute or chronic. How do I do that? The delta PC, every 10 units delta, it changes by 0.08
0.08.
and 0.04 in chronic. Okay, how much it changed? Delta 60 minus 40 is 20 units. For 20 units, I expect the pH to change. If it is
0.16.
1.6 and if it is chronic 0.08. What is the pH change I have got?
1.26, sir.
7.26.
0.14, sir.
0.14 is nearer to?
0.16, sir.
So it is a case
Chronic
respiratory acidosis. No more working on with calculator. Immediately run and see the patient and put the tube. After that, you can see whether there is a mixed disorder or not. First, you save the life. Otherwise, he will go to mixed disorder, and no more will be there. No person will be available. So that is such an emergency to do this calculation. Okay, having put the tube, now his blood values are available. Is there any other disease associated? I would like to know. So for that, what I will do? I will work out the bicarbonate and then see. How do I work out the bicarbonate? For every 10 units, my bicarbonate should shift. So 10 delta PCO2. If it is acute, it is 1. If it is chronic, it is 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, the table. You remember? Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. If it is acute, since we are dealing with acute, we expect 1 unit up because we are dealing with acidosis, this part. If you are dealing with the alkalosis, you have to look at these. Yeah. Now 1 unit up it should go. How many, let's say here 20 units are there, we expect shift in the bicarbonate by 2. So there is 24 is normal, there is a shift in the bicarbonate of 2, that is 26. So
26.
this is what we are observing. And this should be on which side? PCO2 is increasing, bicarbonate also should increase. So it is increasing. That's why it is plus 2. Suppose it is the other way around, we have to take minus. This you decide minus or plus depending on the condition. It is acute respiratory acidosis. So expect the bicarbonate to go up. We know that for every 10 units, it goes up. We are saying for every 10 units goes up. One unit goes up, that up is important. So it goes up, and that up we have added 26, and observed bicarbonate is also 26. Then no more workup, we are very happy. It's an acute condition, put the tube, it may be all right, and then you don't have to worry, and it doesn't have any mixed disorder. Okay? So this is how you solve the problem. Here, the previous one was chronic respiratory acidosis with associated metabolic acidosis. Nagama, here it is the acute respiratory acidosis, well compensated, and there is no extra bicarbonate or anything here. So there is no associated, there is no higher or lower bicarbonate. It is exactly what we expected. So there is no shift in the metabolic parameters. So there is no associated metabolic disorder. Okay. Now let us do something more. Now, this concept you have already been given. I don't know whether we have. This is the slide, I guess. Yeah. This we have seen, completely exhausted. 2 examples we have taken. We worked out an acute, we worked out a chronic respiratory. Let us look at alkalosis example. This side alkalosis, acute and chronic. We will look at an example of acute and chronic alkalosis. Then we go to the metabolic problems. Okay, let us take another slide and then start writing. Take a sort of workout of an example of a respiratory alkalosis, and that too acute and chronic. Okay. 7.47, 29, 94, and 22. When we are dealing with alkalosis, we don't require to look at the anion gap. So those values they will be there unless it is a mixed disorder. For the mixed disorder, we require again. But prima facie, that is not the main point. Now, what is important here? Somebody else can open. In the left, I will write the other values also. 140 and 106 and 22. Written them. The others are all dummies. Those will be required to calculate the osmolar gap and things like that. We are not going into that now. At the moment, what is the pH like here? Who has opened? Anybody else has opened?
Morning, sir.
Arun, good morning. Now, what is the pH here?
The alkalosis, sir.
Alkalosis. First of all, straight away write alkalosis. Now, immediate attention is respiratory disorder. So my eye should fall on the carbon dioxide. What is the carbon dioxide happening? PCO2.
Yes, sir.
It is down. When the pH is up, the carbon dioxide is down. Means we are
Alkalosis.
respiratory alkalosis. The immediate question is it acute or is it chronic? I know for every delta 10 of carbon dioxide, my increase should be 0.08 acute, 0.04 chronic. How many delta I have got? 40 minus 29. So the delta is 11, almost 10. 10 is very close to 11. So I expect if it is acute, a shift in the pH in the upward direction of this much, and if it is chronic, this much. What is the shift in my pH? 7.47, 7.40 is expected, 0.07. So this is very much nearer to the 0.07. So that means it is acute respiratory alkalosis. Okay, by doing this calculation, let us say you get 0.06. Then can you say it is 0.8 or we're nearer to that? Supposing, let's say instead of 0.07, you got all the calculation at 0.06, then you do not know whether it is acute or chronic, and the treatment is different. So, what do you do at the time? What is the rule there? It is acute on chronic. So there is an acute situation on a chronic situation. If the calculation is showing midway between the acute and the chronic, it is acute and chronic. Okay. This is not midway. This is very much nearer to 0.8 than 0.4. 0.7 is 0.7 is much nearer to 0.8. So it is a case of acute respiratory alkalosis. Then the question is there any mixed disorder? That is the point. So how do I know that? By doing the bicarbonate. Bicarbonate compensation for every delta 10, my bicarbonate in alkalosis should be 1, 2, 3, 4, isn't it? So that is the table. So we are here. We are in the acute. So we are in the 2 units we expect. So here for every delta we need 2 units because it is acute respiratory alkalosis. I expect 2 units, and those 2 units means here the bicarbonate is going, the carbon dioxide is going down, so the bicarbonate also should go down. From 24 it should go down by 2 units, which is 22. My present bicarbonate is also 22. So there is no shift in the bicarbonate, either this side or that side. So that means it is not a mixed disorder, it is a pure acute respiratory alkalosis. Then immediately the conditions that give you acute respiratory alkalosis should flash in your mind. I have already told you those conditions. For example, hyperventilation, salicylates. Salicylates will have mixed, of course. And then, the anxiety disorder, thyrotoxicosis, and high altitude. Okay. So these are certain conditions where there is a carbon dioxide washout. That is why the carbon dioxide is lower and the pH has shifted up. Likewise, when you see acute respiratory acidosis, you must be thinking of ARDS, severe pneumonia, COPD, rib fracture, musculoskeletal disorders, barbiturate poisoning, hypnotic poisoning, anything that depresses the respiration, you must be thinking around that in the clinical thing. So immediately you must have a list of conditions which lead to acute respiratory acidosis and a chronic respiratory acidosis, likewise acute respiratory alkalosis, chronic respiratory alkalosis. Tomorrow I will give you those tables, so that you will know clinically what to suspect and what to ask for in the history also. Okay, we will take one more example. One other doctor will open now. Now, take this 7.42, 29, 94 and 19. Okay, for completion set, the other value 110, 19, dummy. Okay, let's write clearly 110. 110 and 19, 94, 29, 90. Now, which doctor has opened?
Sir, good morning, sir.
Very good, Amulya. Now, what is the pH like? Don't say it is
Increase.
7.4. In mixed disorder, 7.4 you have to stick to.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
pH is increased, sir.
That means what? pH is increased means
Alkalosis.
alkalosis. The immediate question is it respiratory or metabolic? How do I answer that? Look at the PC.
PCO2, sir.
PCO2, is it up or down?
Down, sir. Opposite direction, so respiratory alkalosis.
They are on the opposite side, so the answer is respiratory alkalosis. The immediate question is it acute or is it chronic? How do I decide? For every 10 delta by carbon dioxide, my shift in the alkalosis, because the PCO2 should going down, bicarbonate the PCO2 10 delta, for every 10 delta, the pH should be increasing by 0.08 in acute and 0.04 in chronic. This is the formula we are given. Now, what is the shift in my pH? How many units are there actually? 29 and 10 means 11, which is almost 10. 10 is equal to how many units I should expect? If it is acute, 0.08, and if it is chronic, it is 0.04. But my pH is equal to 7.42 minus 7.4, which is equal to 0.02, which is much nearer to the
chronic.
So then you write here chronic. No more acute, chronic respiratory alkalosis. Is there a mixed disorder? Next question is there anything else that is going on there? That I have to now But copy those values again, otherwise out. What are those values? 7.42, 29, 94, 19, and here 140, and then this is a 110, 19. Okay, so this is the other important part. Now we have decided it is, what was the diagnosis there?
Chronic respiratory alkalosis, sir.
Okay. Then the next question is, do I have a mixed disorder? You look at the bicarbonate for every delta PCO2,
PCOD.
which is drop here in this case, for every, it is 29, 29. For every drop in PCO2, the bicarbonate also should drop because they go
Right.
hand in hand. For every 10 units change, since it is a chronic respiratory alkalosis, the table is 1, 2, 3, 4.
Force.
Okay, you remember this table. Go back to the table. It's very systematic way of looking at it. And for every the 4 should be there, chronic respiratory alkalosis. What is that 4? If it is alkalosis, the bicarbonate metabolic, sorry, not metabolic, sorry, not this one. Yeah, this one. So there will be 4 units down. So it is written as 4 units down. Okay. Now, yeah, the bicarbonate should be down by 4 units. For every 10, there should be 4 units. How many are there? 11. For 11, maybe 4.2 or something like that. The bicarbonate should have dropped by 4.2. 19 is the given value, 4.2 is the compensation expected, 23.42. Normally it's 24. 24 and 23.2 are one and the same. So there is no associated metabolic disorder. Okay?
Okay, sir.
How you work out? Now I will tell you tomorrow about the metabolic acidosis and combined disorders. What I did today was, I have combined the acute respiratory, chronic respiratory disorders. That's why we are here. We are here. We have taken this and we did the workup for acute respiratory acidosis and chronic respiratory acidosis, looked at the bicarbonate changes, or also chronic and acute respiratory alkalosis, looked at the bicarbonate changes, whether there are any mixed disorders. Okay. If the bicarbonate has shifted, in metabolic acidosis, there will be, if it is lower than the expected, there is metabolic acidosis. In metabolic alkalosis is expected if the carbonate is higher. Because carbonate is alkali, alkali is higher means it's associated metabolic alkalosis. If the carbonate is lower than expected, that means there's something else pulling down the bicarbonate other than the compensation for the respiratory disease. That means there is associated metabolic acidosis. Okay. Now I give you 2 questions. These 2 questions you answer and show me. If you find associated acidosis, you also find out whether it is NAGMA or AGMA. You know that. So you are adept at that and you can find out. 7.15, 40, 85, 15. Okay. These values are 140, 98, and 15. Of course, you may require, if it is acidosis, then you may require osmolar gap and all that, but let us only look at the acidosis part of it, and the differential diagnosis of acidosis we will look at later. Let us look at the example from the standpoint of mixed disorder. So how to completely work out metabolic alkalosis using anion gap, non-anion gap, and again osmotic gap, non-osmotic gap, and again urine anion gap, urine being positive, negative. That is a separate story. We will work it out. And this is one question. Question number 1. Call it as question number 1. And question number 2, I'm going to give you another question. 7.38 over 39, 90, 39, 90, 23. And then here are 140, 80, 23. 2 questions I am giving answer, and today itself you can show the answers. In the meantime, I will reply to those people who have responded yesterday. I have looked at them, they are all very fine. A few corrections here and there I will mention in my next class. What are those corrections? So with this probably we may stop today. So what was possible? Again, I am just going to recapitulate for you the workup. So mixed acid base disorders. In simple disorders, compensation is there and it is appropriate. In mixed disorders, compensation is there, but it is not appropriate. That means the expected bicarbonate and expected pH shifts are not in the same way as we see. And if there is a pH shift is midway between acute and chronic, you always take that it is acute and chronic. And these values also you have to remember: pH 7.4, bicarbonate 24, PCO2 40, anion gap 12. Okay. Now, so the next thing is, I told you these are the rules. First thing is look at the pH, whether it is in the blood acidemia or alkalemia. Next, go to the PCO2. Is the PCO2 less than 40 or more than 40? If the PCO2 is along with the pH, it is going down, it is metabolic. The pH is going down and the PCO2 is going up, then it is respiratory, like that. ROMS, you know. Consistency also you have to verify. For those two questions also you verify the consistency. And then look for respiratory acidosis fundamentally, because that is emergency. And if it is acute, it is all the more important. Likewise, look for respiratory alkalosis. After ruling out respiratory disorders, look for metabolic disorders. After ruling in these disorders, is there an associated disease? By looking at the PCO2 relationship to pH, PCO2 relationship to bicarbonate. And if the bicarbonate is more or less than expected, if the bicarbonate is more, there is associated metabolic alkalosis. The bicarbonate is less than expected, there is associated metabolic acidosis. If it is metabolic acidosis, then is it a agma or a nagma? Then if it is nagma, is it urine anion gap positive or negative? If it is agma type of acidosis, the mud piles workup. Then you have the osmotic gap, where both gaps are there or single is there, all those things will come. Winters compensation. So the pH is the first thing, less than 7.4, acidemia, more than 7.4, alkalemia. Once there is acidemia, look at the PCO2. If the PCO2 is higher and the pH is lower, we are dealing with respiratory acidosis. On the contrary, if the PCO2 is lower, along with the pH, it is going down in the same direction, it is metabolic acidosis. Then if the pH is higher, we are alkalemia. This alkalemia, if along with the pH, if the PCO2 is on the opposite side, that is the PCO2 is lesser than 40, then I am dealing with respiratory alkalosis. The other way around, if the pH is higher and the PCO2 also is higher, that means both are going in the same direction, then that is metabolic alkalosis. This is as such. And always verify the consistency. HAN concentration is equal to 24 multiplied by PCO2 by bicarbonate. And that should be giving you the hydrogen concentration. And then you decide the pH and see, verify the consistency. Now, how to work out? Now, the most important thing is there acute respiratory acidosis? Why? It is life-saving, we need to know. Then, if it is further workup, is it acute or chronic? For every 10 units of delta PCO2 change from 40, because it is acidosis, whenever the pH goes down, the bicarbonate and the carbon dioxide will be going up. In acute case, we are looking at the PCO2, carbon dioxide will be going up, and for every 10 units increase in the carbon dioxide, we expect the pH to get corrected 0.08 in acute and 0.04 in the chronic. And then after that, after deciding acute or chronic, you go for bicarbonate compensation. And for that, the table is there. I will show you the table below, which is 1, 2, 3, 4 there. That table will tell where I am. Likewise, the same thing you work for the respiratory alkalosis. That means the pH is higher, PCO2 is lower, they are in the opposite direction. Respiratory alkalosis, is there respiratory alkalosis? Is it acute? Because it's a treatable cause immediately. For every 10 units change in the PCO2 in the form of drop in the PCO2, I will get a pH correction to the extent of 0.4 in the acute. By pH moves up because it's alkalosis, and in the chronic it is 0.04. I have to see whether it is acute or chronic. Then see the bicarbonate compensation as per the following formula. So how is that formula now? Acute, 1 unit up. and that is respiratory acidosis. If it is respiratory alkalosis, 2 units down. If it is chronic respiratory acidosis, 3 units up. Chronic respiratory alkalosis, 4 units down for every 10 units change in the carbon dioxide from the normal value of 40. So having done that, then once you work for the carbon dioxide, the bicarbonate, and if the bicarbonate is, after doing this workup, you know whether the bicarbonate is normal, that means expected as expected, or it is lower than the expected. If it is lower than the expected, there is a metabolic cause which is bringing down the alkali, bringing down the bicarbonate, that is associated metabolic acidosis. Then you need to know AGMA or NAGMA and make a differential diagnosis. If the bicarbonate, on the other hand, is higher than expected from this calculation, in addition to the respiratory disorder, you have a metabolic disorder in the form of metabolic alkalosis, because bicarbonate is alkali, and the alkali is more, that means there is metabolic alkalosis. And there is a workup for metabolic alkalosis that I will show you at the end of all these sessions. So this is the summary of today's discussion. Maybe we will stop here, and then those 2 questions, you please do it. While doing those questions, you also check for the internal consistency, and if you find associated acidosis, find out whether it is AGMA or NAGMA, and try to make some differential diagnosis. And submit the answers as early as possible. We will meet again on coming Tuesday.